Hello friends, welcome to a presentation on time leveraging skills. I am NK Sundaram. I am the presenter. I am 66 years young. I am a HR OD consultant, a soft skill trainer, a guide and a mentor. I operate HR consultancy work and also soft skill all over India and Gulf countries since the year 2011. I have over 40 years of industry experience and 10 years of training experience. I have worked in small firms for about 4 years, central government in Delhi for 4 years before joining Larsen and Toubro Delhi in 1978 and got transferred to Bangalore in 1987, and I retired from Bangalore as senior deputy general manager, head of HR and admin. Book reading is a habit for over 55 years. I like writing, interacting with people, traveling to places, exploring new places. I operate out of Bangalore. I am present in LinkedIn, Site HR, Facebook, and YouTube. Program objectives are to improve personal productivity by better planning and organizing, to shift focus from doing activities to contribution, to focus on balancing work and personal time, to know about various myths around time leveraging, to understand mistakes people often make in respect of time leveraging, to learn how to use various tools. We will be covering what is time, how successful people manage their time, four quadrant theory, time leveraging, how time leveraging will help in achieving smart goals, how to do a to-do list and a planner, prioritization of tasks, myths about time, mistakes we make in managing time, tips and techniques in leveraging time, and procrastination, how to beat it. What is time leveraging? Completing all tasks as decided. In time leveraging helps you in control of your life, which is not driven by circumstances. How leveraging will help enjoying journey of life and every day of it. How time leveraging will not wait for a perfect day in future, but enjoying every day. And time leveraging will help you in having a right balance in the wheel of life, that is spending time with family and also your professional work. Time leveraging as an acronym, time stands also stands for T for things to do list, I for identifying priority, M for making it happen, and E for evaluating deviations. Common problems with many of us. People always say I am busy. Anytime you ask I am busy, because they do not have an organized, prioritized way of working. I don't have control on my life. They try to blame others for all their problems. But the reality is that they can have control, but they don't know how to. I wish I have more than 24 hours per day so that I can get all things done. Even if they are given 48 hours per day, still they won't be able to do it because If they are not organized to leverage 24 hours per day, how they are going to do that if they are given 48 hours per day? And everyone overloads me with work because they don't know how to say no, they don't know how to be assertive in refusing work which is beyond their capability. What are the benefits of time leveraging? Higher productivity and satisfaction, both at work and in personal life. If you are able to manage all your tasks and responsibilities within the 24 hours by allocating, by prioritizing, you will have enough time to spend with your family as well. And because of that, you will find surplus time for indulging in creativity. Improved delegation is a powerful developer and motivator of subordinates. It also frees you for higher level of activities. Time leveraging helps you to delegate tasks and responsibilities which are not important for you but may be urgent in nature, so that you will be getting additional time for activities that will help you to develop yourself, grow yourself. Another benefit of time leveraging is you attain a feeling of self mastery and balance. That is, you will be having a control of your tasks and responsibilities. You will have a feeling of balance in work and life. And because of your ability to manage tasks and responsibilities with the time allocated, you will not undergo any kind of stress, both physical and mental. What you should do for time management, a time leveraging skill, list all the activities that you want to do in a for a particular day. Simply list it. Don't do any prioritization work. List within the list all personal. Please include your personal and professional activities um, in the list. From the list made, identify and segregate the activity into four categories, that is, urgent and important one category, urgent but not important second category, not urgent but important third category, and not urgent and not important fourth category. So, on your own, you make four categories of the tasks. How you can make it is you draw a quadrant in your notebook, label the quadrants as urgent, important, important but not urgent, urgent but not important, and not urgent and not important. Form groups of 4 or 5 participants and discuss which are our day to day activities which we normally do and which quadrants they are now and in which quadrant actually they should be. There will be difference of opinion, there may be arguments, but try to understand each one's justification and mark the activities accordingly in the four quadrants. The four quadrants, what I mentioned earlier, will look like this. Number one, urgent and important is called four quadrant theory. Urgent and important, which are quadrant of necessity. These are all firefighting, urgent crises, handling crises, medical emergencies, last minute preparation for scheduled activities. These form part of quadrant 1, quadrant of necessity. Number 2, not urgent but important. This involve lot of planning, preparation, networking, friendship, and also pre what do you call activities that prevention like a medical checkup and what do you call relationship building. These things come under quadrant 2, or what we call quadrant of quality and personal leadership, so that you have control over your future planning and preparation. Quadrant 3 is um, urgent but not important. This is called quadrant of deception. That is, all those activities which gives you interruption, unwanted mail and some unwanted unimportant meetings with no contribution, and many pressing matters which may not really be serious, and so many popular activities which do not add much value to your goal. That is quadrant of deception. Then comes the fourth quadrant. It is called quadrant of waste. Not urgent and not important. All those activities which are trivial, pretending to be busy, and junk mail, unwanted phone calls, involving time wasters and time pass activities, internet, WhatsApp, video games, watching the same movies, watching the same stories, all activities which we call time pass, which otherwise would not add any value to your life. What are the most important things in your life? What you feel? Most important things for your life are your life and career. Number two, your health. Because if your health is not okay, you won't be able to do any fruitful activity in respect of your family life and professional life. Number three is family. All of us are working for the sake of our family. So we have to give importance to the well-being, health of the family members and their enrichment. And the next one is friends. Friends means real friends who motivate you when you are depressed, who guide you when you are confused, who help you when you really need them. These are the priorities of life. All other things can be delayed, avoided, or trashed. They do not add any kind of value to your life. Please remember that. You have to focus on these things only as your priorities in life. Now we will explain. We had four quadrants. We will give a little more what you call explanation. Number one, what is urgent and important? An activity which, if not completed, will have a consequence in the form of losses or damage. It can be your health or it can be your life. Some examples are firefighting, the here and now activities, tasks concerning life, survival, and things which cannot be postponed concerning health. All those things are form part of urgent and important quadrant. Number two, what is not urgent but important? An activity which can be rescheduled, but if not attended to and left pending till the last date, can become urgent and have a consequence in the form of losses or damages. That is, all planning and prior preparation activities, networking, relationship building activities, if they are not attended to in advance, some of those activities may become urgent and may require your immediate attention, pushing all other things behind. So, therefore, you have to focus on all those things which are not urgent but definitely important. Some examples could be planning preparation for exam, spending time with family, career related planning, etc. Third is urgent but not important. Here, an activity which needs to be dealt with or completed today but should not take a lot of your time. This may not need your attention much. In other words, these activities can be delegated or empowered to other people. Things which can be delegated, tasks which can be completed by other team members uh, and other people around you, and for you these are all least priority items. What is not urgent and not important? This is the fourth quadrant items. An activity which, if not attended to and left pending, will not have any negative consequences. By not doing anything, nothing is going to happen. Some examples could be watching the same match again and again, watching the same movies repeatedly, browsing TV channels without any aim or purpose, just browsing through WhatsApp or Facebook or Instagram. All these things will not contribute much to your survival, to your life's goals, while you have important tasks on hand. So you should give more priority on the tasks which are urgent and important than other things like TV watching and binge watching, all those things which are least important for life. This also include going for window shopping, fighting with people unnecessary. All those things come under the fourth category. It's a quadrant of waste we call. to just to map how you spend at 24 hours, you can have a small time log. On the left side you can see the description, various description. On the right side the duration for each activity, how much it takes. So you will notice that it is possible you may be spending some time on unproductive useless activity. Unless you map it, you won't know that. So you can do some mapping and then see where you can trim the activity so that you can find a surplus time for some other important activity for you. For a period of time, if you plan, if you map your time log, say a week or 10 days or 15 days, you can have a time log to map your hourly activities, a timeline, planned and actual. So by mapping these for a period of 10-15 days, you will be able to find out which of those activities in which you have planned a time or a duration, but actually it might have taken more. So there may be some important activities there, the time taken could be less also. So accordingly, you have to fine tune your activities by flexibly adjusting your time allocation. And somewhere you are spending unwanted time in a non-productive activity, you should be able to change your style of working. No, it is possible because of the time available to you. While commuting, using the public transport by bus or train, or maybe at the doctor's clinic, you are still waiting for the ADR patient to leave the doctor's room, you may find some time, and waiting for your bus or train or plane to depart, or you may be traveling in those what you call transport items, or you are waiting for a customer, or or a customer is uh, has kept you waiting in his place, or you are on hold waiting time elsewhere, and when you are ready for work or for an appointment or at a bank, you have got another 15 to 20 minutes at your disposal. What to do with the waiting time? How to use your waiting time? Number one, use the waiting time for catching up with the pending reply, jotting down points, or noting down what you call a draft, preparing a draft letter or a memo, or taking down notes, or gathering ideas for a particular project or a task or a work, or listen to books, audiobooks, or read books, motivational books, inspirational stories, or videos. You can use the waiting time for effectively for self development, for catching up with the pending work, and also use the time for noting down points. So use the waiting time effectively instead of playing a mobile game or chatting in WhatsApp or Instagram for uh, what do you call, without any objective or purpose, and with no contribution whatsoever. Concentrate on the task on hand. Always ensure that your focus is on your goals of life. And when your focus is on goal, as far as possible, try to tune out interruptions. The interruption can be from within your mind. Suddenly remember about something which may not be relevant. Or there may be some walk-ins, there may be some phone calls, or there may be some people. Tell them in a very diplomatic, decent way not to interrupt you for a particular number of hours. Map your interrupters and time wasters and seek their help. Be assertive with them. Say that I have some urgent priority task on hand. Either you can give me a ring after some time, or I will give you a ring at the appropriate time. Short term and long term goals. Goal setting is a separate training topic. I have released one video, training video. There we talk about short term goals, long term goals, intermediate goals, everything. Time leveraging skills can help you achieve your SMART goals effectively. Goals are the fuel in the furnace of achievement. You either achieve your own goals or someone else's. That means you will be working for somebody's goals and targets. It is better that we achieve our own goals. There's a great connectivity between goals and SMART goals, that is time leveraging. Start with short term goals, which will become part of your long term goals. Improving your percentage on a particular subject can be a short term goal, but passing your entire degree course with a high percentage can be a long term goal. This is just a small example. And writing or preparing for one semester exam can be a short term goal, and passing the entire degree with good ranking can be a long term goal. And the interim goal is something that you do to connect two goals. It can be like getting a skill training, or doing a postgraduate diploma on a particular skill. This can be um, skills, this can be intermediate skills. If you are keen to achieve your goals, use time leveraging skills effectively. I'm going to show a short video called Jar of Life. Just a small break now for about a minute. Now you can think of how the past 20-24 slides have been working on you, whether you have understood the basics of time leveraging skills, then how to prioritize, how to create four quadrants, how to put all your tasks and responsibilities and allocate them into the four quadrants. So just think for a while before we moving on to the next part of the training program. So each one should have a goal, and then each one should use the time available at their disposal effectively, so that the time leveraging skill will help you to achieve your personal or professional or what we call social um, goals. Now we will move on to part 2 of the training topic. There are 10 myths or blind beliefs uh, in respect of time leveraging or time management. Number one, many people think we can manage time. In reality, we cannot manage time, nor can we save it. Time ticks away relentlessly in spite of our efforts to control it. We are provided with 24 hours of time each day to use as we like. The key challenge is in how we use that time. We can use it wisely or we can waste it, but we can never save it. At the end of the day, it is gone because time is a continuous process. It is non-stop. So we should never waste even a single minute which is available at our disposal. One small example, you might have seen the photographs of the owner of Facebook, who is nobody else than Mark Zuckerberg. You can see him almost all times wearing a grey color uh, as what you call a t-shirt and also a blue jeans. You may be wondering, for such a rich person, why the guy is wearing the same kind of dress. Do you know the reason? It's because he has several what you call numbers of the same kind of jeans and t-shirt. But by having the same design, same color, he will not waste time in choosing the wardrobe for the day. He believes in customer service. The time taken for choosing the wardrobe for the day, I can definitely use it elsewhere productively and effectively to address the customer issues. This is how the successful people use the time effectively. We can set only the clock back but not the time, because time is once gone, it is gone for the day. Another myth, time leveraging involves getting more done in less time. Some people may believe that, but effective time leveraging refers to getting done fewer things of great importance. Instead of 10 doing 10 meaningless, useful, unproductive tasks, you can do two tasks which are of great importance to you, which will definitely help you reach your goals. We cannot possibly do everything we want to do or all the things that are there to do. But if we prioritize on what there is to do and focus on completing the priorities apart, to the exclusion of everything else, we will be more effective. In other words, focus your attention on completing only priority activities. 3. To-do lists help get things done. To-do lists do nothing to further a project or a task. They simply remind us that they are not done yet. It only helps you to identify which are the tasks you have completed and which you are yet to complete, yet to attend. Scheduling time in your planner as appointments with yourself to work on the tasks helps get them done. It only enables you to get the pending work done. That's all. To-do lists are only intentions. Scheduled blocks of time are commitments. So these two things will not help you on their own, but only helps you to achieve your goals and targets. People need a personal organizer or other time leveraging system to get organized. People are not organized because they use a time leveraging system. They use a time leveraging system because they are organized. See the sequence of that. People who are very conscious about managing the time effectively, they use an organizer. Personal organization involves breaking old habits and forming new effective ones. So if you want to get out of unplanned activities and then doing too many work, unwanted work, come out of it, break the old habit and form new ones. This is part of your organizing your personal life effectively. It is a state of mind as opposed to a state of the office. Some people are more organized using a 100 rupee writing pad than others who are using a 1000 rupee organizer. In other words, it is not the value of the product that you use, the tool that you use, but then how you put to use matters most. A quiet hour is a great leveraging tool. A quiet hour is a figment of time leveraging writer's imagination. There's nothing called a quiet hour. We can reduce interruptions but never eliminate them. It is part and parcel of every human's life. To be effective, we must learn to work in spite of the interruptions. A clever, intelligent person will be able to manage to achieve his goals and tasks even if there are interruptions. 6. Keeping a time log to determine where your time is going is the place to start. A time log should be done last, not first. Time log is to help you map out how your time has been spent. That will help you to fine tune your prioritization, removing interruptions or cutting down your time wasters. All we need is not more paperwork and interruptions when we are already inundated with them. We should get organized first, adopt effective habits, schedule time properly, put into practice time reducing techniques and procedures, and once we have the time, keep a time block to effect further refinement. Whatever you are doing, you can, these what you call tools will help you to further shape up your tasks and responsibilities. The biggest time wasters include telephone interruptions, visitors, meetings, and rush jobs. These are not time wasters, they are time obligations. Imagine if those things do not come to you, you will feel bored and feel vacuum. And such things, such interruptions are part of our life, part of our job. You cannot wish them away. The biggest time wasters in reality are self-imposed, it is internal, such as indecision, postponing decisions, making only mental notes instead of physically writing down, and interrupting our thoughts with unwanted things, other things. and searching for things. If you are not personally organized, always spending time on searching for tools and equipment, or people who spend more time in achieving perfection, in the process they lose more precious time, and also spending time on trivial tasks which really do not require your attention. We are our own worst enemies. Being effective involves leveraging ourselves, not placing the blame on others. It's more efficient to stick to one task until it is completed. It may be more efficient, but it is not more effective. For seldom will you have time to finish it. It's more effective to break large projects into small 1 or 2 hour chunks and work at them for a brief period each day. That is, instead of looking at a large project which may take 1 month and then neglecting all other responsibilities, the same large project can be broken into 2 hour jobs of daily what you call schedule. That way, you will be able to focus on other uh, equally important activities every day. Working on priorities involves frequent brief sprint, not occasional marathons. In other words, uh, working on priorities means spending short duration of importance and long durations of not so important activity. We should have one planner for the office and a separate planner for the home. That's not correct. We should have only one planner. We are only one person sharing our lives with people and activities at work, at home, at school, etc. Since we only have one life, we should have only one planner. Both business and personal activities should be scheduled in the same planner so that business activities don't take precedence over personal and family activities. So we should give priority to personal and family activities also. Therefore, you can always shuffle and change the priorities according to the need and the requirement of family life also. Time is money. Time is more than money in reality. It is really life. You can always get more money, but you can never get more time. So, time is an irreplaceable resource. So, when time is gone, you are gone. Now, next is 10 time leveraging mistakes. What kind of mistakes people do and fail to leverage time effectively? Failing to keep a to do list, not setting personal goals, not prioritizing, failing to manage distractions, art of saying no or always saying yes, procrastination or indecision, pretending to be busy all the time, trying to do too many activities called multitasking, but in reality, spending more time than saving, and not taking breaks. Not taking breaks will lead to mental and physical stress. So, while planning and prioritizing, you should give time for breaks as well. Last, ineffectively scheduling tasks. Ineffectively means you should bunch the work according to the location, duration, people, etc. Like if you have got 3 meetings with one colleague or one department in a day, it is better to put all the meetings together so that the topics or agenda can be shuffled and changed and completed instead of having 3 times meeting with the same person during the whole day. Similarly, when you got a task or assignment outside in 2 3 locations, Try to do all the work once you are outside the office building so that you don't have to keep traveling back and forth 2 3 times a day. Now I will give you some tips and techniques. As I mentioned before, ensure that you use a planner and a to-do planner or a tool always. Make a to-do list for both personal and official assignments together. Focus on progress tasks. What is a progress task? A progress task is one which takes you forward towards your goal. There will be a growth, there will be an improvement between yesterday and today. And a maintenance task, on the other hand, is one which will sustain or keep the system going. You don't have to spend time on maintenance task more than what you focus on a progress task, because progress means improvement. Maintenance means maintaining status quo. As per the Pareto's principle, 80% of unfocused effort generates only 20% of results. The remaining 80% results are achieved with only 20% effort. Therefore, focus only on 20% of the effort so that you get 80% of the result all the time. Prioritize daily activities. Schedule the day, manage time robbers, and celebrate your ticks. That is, prioritize daily activities means you should be able to plan your day, and at the same time people who rob you of your time, you should have a plan of action so that you get as less interruptions as possible. Next, celebrating your ticks means any achievement, significant achievement in reaching your goals through uh, effective leveraging of your skills calls for celebration, which is nothing but motivating yourself for doing better and better. Breathing space breaks. Whenever you plan your schedule, create space for taking a healthy break to recoup energy and effort. Define your dreams. You can always plan and define your dreams through setting smart goals for both personal and professional achievement. Also, get all in the family to set smart goals. In other words, involving your family members also to have this kind of goals, uh, so that um, their time is also become effective and also meaningful, and they will also learn how to leverage the time effectively. Set one key goal for each quarter. The key goal could be even a short term goal, and have a life event goal for each year. It can be a long term goal. The goal could be learning to drive a four wheeler, or it can be kind of preparing for an exam to improve your percentage, or taking out family for a picnic. It can be taking parents to on a pilgrimage. So these are some of the examples. 9. Don't wait till important becomes urgent. Important is quadrant number 2 and urgent is quadrant number 1. Quadrant number 2 represents all planning activities. If you do not plan your activities properly, all the important works assignments will become urgent. So you will be forced to spend more time with people, so that with your goals, with your objectives, so that you don't end up doing uh, even important activities at the last minute, which may cost our health, which may cost our career also. Last, manage stress through regular exercise, what we call calisthenics, yoga, pranayama, anything that helps you to de-stress. Take something like prayer and meditation, or it can be devotional readings, anything of your choice which will help you to de-stress yourself. Please remember, efficiency is doing the job right. That is perfectly, effectively, without wasting any time. On the other hand, effectiveness is doing the right job. Pick up those jobs which you can achieve efficiently and then make it effective instead of doing a work uh, which is not efficiently done and a job which is not suitable for you. Doing more of what does not work won't make it work any better. Learn from the experiences of others rather than your own. As the old saying goes, wise people, intelligent people learn from others' mistakes, and stupid people learn from their own mistakes. So look around and see who is putting into best practices, follow them, adopt them to meet your requirements. Live your life as most people do, and you will be forced to settle for what most people settle for, that is doing a mediocratic job, not the intelligent bright job. So don't copy others for all bad work, but you become part of the 20% of the people who do not live in comfort zone. Don't be a master of mediocrity, settle for things which are just average. Discipline. Discipline is the process of focusing on any chosen activity without interruption until that activity is complete. You should develop the habit of, you should develop the virtue of being disciplined. Any work that you take up till it is completed, you should not leave the place. That is discipline. You should bring it to a conclusion. Discipline is something you do and not something you have. That is, you display your discipline through your activities by respecting others. Discipline is the process of total time control. It is the ability to keep all agreements with yourself and with others. It is the ability to show up on time every time, punctuality. It is the ability to keep your mind, body, and emotions in balance. It is the power to keep going forward when everything around you seems to pull you back. This is the power of discipline. Discipline generates trust and confidence in yourself, that is self confidence, and attracts trust and confidence from others. People will start believing in you and trusting you, and they will know that you are a person of high levels of discipline. They will be ready to share with you their task and responsibilities. Next word is procrastination. What is procrastination? The definition is the action of delaying or postponing something. A fear of the reasons could be one, a fear of failure. In my experience, one of the most common causes of procrastination is a deep-rooted fear of failure. What if we do not succeed. That's a kind of fear. If you fear the consequences of failing, then a logical extension of this is a disinclination to take action. If you are always afraid of failing or failure, you will never be able to take any action because of the fear. Take some amount of risk in life, and then once you succeed, you will be the happiest person. Number two, excessive perfectionism. Another common cause of procrastination is excessive perfectionism. If you are a self confessed perfectionist, then you might find it difficult to take action unless you know you can do a job with which you will be totally satisfied. So, never try to be perfect in everything you do. Low energy levels. Another frequent reason for procrastination is experiencing low energy levels. If you are lacking energy, then it stands to reason that you will not feel like doing much at all. For this, to maintain good energy levels, always eat healthy food, avoid junk food, eat right quantity of food at the right time of the day so that you always maintain very high levels of energy. Fourth reason for procrastination is lack of focus. A lack of focus in life is another frequent cause of procrastination. Although some people like to claim that the person who does not know where they are going always travels further. This idiom does not mesh well with those of us who are predestined to procrastination. That is, people who lack focus will not take any proper decision. They will be dithering, they will be deviating, and they will be going beyond what they want. So, always have a focus on your goals and its positive outcome. Just visualize it. Another important factor in time leveraging is using your peak performance period. Determine your peak performance hours. Body clock varies from person to person. Peak performance hours too varies. For somebody, early morning hours will be more productive, and for some, the late evening hours. Choose your productive time and use the time effectively. Use peak performance periods for activities that require maximum mind power, where you can focus and concentrate on important subjects and issues. It will help you to make decisions. Use your creative power during the peak productive time. Use your creative power and use the time for negotiating as well. And use the peak production or performance hours to read, study, and learn new things. You will be able to remember things much better if you use your peak performance hours. How to organize yourself? Always carry your planner and a planning tool. Always carry a to do list and prioritize your activities daily. Review continuously your major goals and values, which may keep undergoing changes every day. Allocate time to plan and review daily. Allocate a little bit of time, maybe at the start of the day, to review your activities which may require some changing, some shuffling, or adjusting, etc. So that when you leave home for the work, you are definitely in the know of things, what is required and when. Schedule all phone calls, errands, and appointments together. that will help you to save lot of time on doing a particular task with a particular department or a particular vendor or a particular manager. That will give you enough time that will help you to avoid time in unwanted movements back and forth frequently. Set time limit for tasks. With your own past experience, you should be able to allocate time on how much time will it take for each activity. That will help you to kind of uh, find space, additional time for extra activities. Schedule important activities for peak performance hours. Don't get caught in low value details which you can avoid or you can pass it on to somebody else. Learn to say no. The art of saying no gently, diplomatically, politely. Why you are not able to accept the task of other person. Communicate suitably, and activities which are not really going to add value, you delegate to your team members or subordinates or juniors. Don't procrastinate. You know what is a procrastination? Avoid that. Prepare for gifts of time. And suppose you find half an hour, 1 hour between two schedules or two activities. Use them as gifts of time for catching up with some popular activities like what you call small activities that will help you a great amount of what you call time. Stick to the point. Dealing with interruptions. How to handle people who interrupt you or things which cause interruption through a phone call or something. Suppose if it is a person, stick to the point. If he comes with a particular purpose, once that topic is over, you have given your idea or your contribution, you call it off. Don't stretch or extend your chat or discussion. Put a time limit on interruptions. You can always say, I can spare only 30 minutes or 45 minutes or 1 hour. Once it is over, you can always say, is that over? Can I move? I have other tasks waiting for me. Postpone interruptions, then visit the interrupter. If it is within your control, if some interruption takes place, ensure that you don't attend to them. Then go and meet the interrupter in his place and then tell him in a polite way why you are not able to handle. Another technique that you can use to cut down people wasting time is to stand up near your desk and talk. If there are some people who walk in and drop in just for a chit chat, if you can keep standing and talking and telling them that you are in charge of uh, are involved in a particular task or important assignment and you do not have much time left. So by standing and talking, the other person will also understand that he has interrupted you and then you need your own time. So whatever purpose they came for, you talk to them, finish them off, and then resume your task with your task. Be assertive. Assertiveness is something between aggressiveness and submissiveness. People who are assertive will stand for their rights. They will tell clearly what they want, how they can do it or cannot do that. So that will help you to be being very diplomatic, decent, uh, to be more assertive. Use the internal telephone wherever possible. Instead of personal meeting, use the telephone to speak over and complete the task or responsibility in which one person from another department seeks your what you call your advice or suggestion. Keep a log. Log means always keep a notebook to track down, to follow and map avoidable, unavoidable interruptions, so that the moment you get some pattern, you will always uh, what you call find a solution for such interruptions. Use memos and notes. For responding, you can always use the memos, notes, and post-it stickers, so that uh, you can save your time in sitting in a meeting. That's all, friends, for the day. Thank you very much. Hope this training will help you to uh, use your time very effectively to achieve your tasks and responsibilities, leading to the success of your goals of life.